I spent 31 years in an ICU keeping other people alive. I watched patients lose their ability to walk, lose their ability to stand up from a chair without help, lose their independence, one muscle at a time. And I always thought to myself, that will never be me. Until I was kneeling in my garden with my granddaughter Emma, trying to pull a weed out of the soil, and I could not get up. I pushed on my knee. I grabbed the edge of the raised bed. I tried twice. And Emma looked at me with those big eyes and said, "Grandma, does it hurt to be old?" I was 64 years old. I had spent 3 decades taking care of everyone else, and I had completely forgotten to take care of myself. My name is Susan Miller. I'm 68 years old, retired ICU nurse, Boulder, Colorado. And today I'm going to show you something that I wish someone had explained to me 20 years ago inside that hospital. It costs less than $5. It sits in the refrigerated section of every grocery store in America. And it does something to your muscles at night that eggs, chicken, fish, and everything else you're eating during the day simply cannot do. If you are over 60 and you feel like your strength is quietly slipping away, this video is for you. Subscribe right now before we go further, because what comes next is something most people in our age group have never heard. And you are going to want to share it with someone you love. Let me start with the problem. And I'm going to be direct, because that's what 31 years of nursing teaches you. You don't soften the numbers when the numbers matter. After 60, your body loses between 1 and 2% of its muscle mass every single year. 1% sounds like nothing, but do the math. In 10 years, that is 10 to 20% of your total muscle mass gone. That means less strength in your legs when you walk down the stairs in the morning, less stability when you step off a curb, less ability to carry your groceries, lift your grandkids, get up from the floor if you fall, less independence, less confidence, less of the life you worked your whole life to enjoy. I saw this happen to patients in their 70s and 80s who had been perfectly active in their 50s. They didn't lose their mobility in one dramatic moment. It happened quietly, over years, while they were living their lives and not paying attention to this one specific thing. The medical term is sarcopenia. In plain English, it means age-related muscle loss. And the part that most people never hear, the part that changed everything for me personally, is this. Sarcopenia is not inevitable. It is not just aging. It is largely a nutrition problem, a timing problem, and it has a surprisingly simple fix. Here's what's happening inside your body every single night. You finish dinner. Maybe you had eggs or salmon or a chicken breast. Good protein, good intentions. Then you do the dishes, watch some TV, and go to sleep. And for the next 7 or 8 hours, your body receives nothing. No fuel, no building material, nothing. Meanwhile, during those same 7 or 8 hours, something important is happening. In the first 4 hours of deep sleep, your body releases its highest natural levels of growth hormone. Growth hormone is the signal that tells your body to repair and rebuild muscle tissue. It shows up ready to work every single night. But if there is no protein available when that signal fires, your body has nothing to build with. Here is what I tell people now, and I wish I had understood this when I was still working night shifts. It does not matter how much protein you eat during the day if your body is starving for it at night. And after 60, that nighttime window is the most critical window of all. Now here is where eggs fall short. And I want to be careful here because eggs are wonderful. I eat them. I recommend them. As a nurse, I have never been anti-egg. But eggs are fast-digesting protein. Your body processes them in 2 to 3 hours and moves on. If you eat eggs at 6 in the evening and go to sleep at 10, by midnight your body has already used everything those eggs had to offer, and you still have 6 more hours of sleep ahead. 6 hours during which your muscles are waiting for resources that are no longer there. After 60, this is not a small thing. This is the mechanism behind the quiet strength loss that so many of my viewers describe without knowing why it's happening. What your body actually needs before bed is a slow-release protein, something that delivers amino acids gradually over 6, 7, 8 hours. Something that keeps your muscles fed through the entire night. That protein is called casein, and the most natural, affordable, and accessible source of casein in the United States costs less than $2 a serving and is available in every single grocery store from here in Boulder all the way to Des Moines, where I grew up. It is cottage cheese. Now, I know some of you just made a face. I did too the first time I heard this. I'm a nurse, not a nutrition influencer. I don't get excited easily about food trends. But this is not a trend. This is biochemistry. And biochemistry does not care about trends. Let me give you the numbers. 1 cup of cottage cheese contains between 24 and 28 grams of high-quality complete protein, under 200 calories, low in fat, high in calcium, which matters enormously for women over 60 who are managing or preventing osteoporosis, rich in vitamin B12, and packed with leucine, which is the specific amino acid that activates the muscle protein synthesis switch in the body. After 60, that switch requires a higher leucine dose to activate than it did when you were younger. Researchers call this anabolic resistance. 1 cup of cottage cheese delivers exactly the leucine dose needed to overcome that resistance and trigger the repair process. Every single night. Researchers at Maastricht University conducted studies on older adults consuming casein protein before sleep. The results showed significantly higher rates of overnight muscle protein synthesis compared to the control group that consumed nothing before bed. And the effect was most pronounced in participants over the age of 60, not young athletes, not people in their 30s or 40s, people our age. People dealing with the exact same biology we are dealing with right now. I started eating cottage cheese before bed about 4 years ago. Not because someone sold me a program, because I read the research, tested it on myself, and paid attention to what my body told me. That is what nurses do. We observe, we document, we adjust. The first 2 weeks, I noticed nothing remarkable. By the end of week 3, I was waking up with noticeably less stiffness in my hips. Anyone over 60 in Colorado knows what morning hip stiffness feels like, especially after a cold night. By week 6, getting off the floor after stretching was easier than it had been in years. By month 3, I was back in the garden on my knees, planting tomatoes, and standing up on my own without grabbing anything. Emma was there that day. She didn't say anything about it, but I noticed, and that was enough. Now let me give you the full picture, because cottage cheese is the cornerstone, but the system works even better when it is supported by 3 other simple habits. The first is the cottage cheese itself, eaten 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Between 150 and 250 grams, roughly 1 cup. You do not need to cook it. You do not need a recipe. I eat mine with a small drizzle of local honey and a sprinkle of cinnamon most nights. Sometimes I mix in a handful of blueberries I picked up at the farmer's market. Sometimes, after a long day of hiking in the foothills, I eat it plain with a spoon standing over the kitchen sink. All of it works. The only thing that matters is consistency. The second is resistance movement during the day. I am not talking about going to the gym for an hour. I am not talking about lifting heavy weights or following a complicated program. 10 minutes, 3 times a week. That is the minimum effective dose. Chair-assisted squats in your kitchen, wall push-ups, a slow walk up and down your stairs with intention, resistance band exercises sitting in a chair. These movements send one clear message to your body. These muscles are still being used. Keep them. Repair them. Without that signal, your body has no reason to prioritize muscle preservation at night. With that signal, the casein from your cottage cheese becomes dramatically more effective. The third is vitamin D. As a former ICU nurse, I can tell you with absolute confidence that vitamin D deficiency is one of the most common and most overlooked health issues in adults over 60. Especially here in Colorado, where people assume that living at altitude means they're getting enough sun, you're often not. Vitamin D is directly involved in muscle function, bone density, and the absorption of calcium. Ask your doctor to run a 25-OH vitamin D blood test at your next appointment. If your levels are low, a simple daily supplement can make a meaningful difference in how your muscles respond to everything else you're doing. And the fourth thing, which ties all of this together, is sleep quality. Here is something beautiful about cottage cheese that most people don't know. The casein in cottage cheese supports the natural production of serotonin and melatonin in the body. That means eating cottage cheese before bed doesn't only feed your muscles through the night. It also supports a deeper, more restorative sleep. And better sleep means better muscle repair. Better muscle repair means more strength. More strength means more confidence moving through your day. More confidence means more movement. More movement means better sleep. It is a self-sustaining cycle. And cottage cheese is one of the most affordable ways to start it. I want to say something honest here. One nurse to another person over 60. I spent my career watching what happens when people don't pay attention to their health until it is urgent. I watch strong, capable people in their 60s become fragile in their 70s because no one ever told them about the quiet, daily things they could have been doing. You are watching this video, which means you are paying attention. That matters enormously. This information is simple. It is not expensive. It does not require a gym membership or a prescription or a consultation. It requires a tub of cottage cheese, a spoon, and the discipline to do it every night. Here is your challenge for the next 14 days. Every evening, 30 to 60 minutes before you go to sleep, eat 1 cup of cottage cheese. Keep everything else the same. Don't change your meals. Don't start a new workout program. Don't add anything complicated. Just this one thing for 14 nights. Then notice what changes. Whether your legs feel different when you first get out of bed. Whether the stairs feel a little more manageable. Whether you feel more rested. Whether something small but real is different. Small signals are real signals, and they add up faster than you think. If this video helped you, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me, did you know about casein before today? Have you ever tried cottage cheese at night? Have you been struggling with morning stiffness or feeling like your strength has been quietly fading? Tell me your story. I read every comment, every single one. And if someone in your life needs to hear this, share this video with them. A sister, a friend, a neighbor, someone you hike with or garden with or sit next to at church. This information should not be hard to find. Let's make it easier for each other. If you are not subscribed yet, subscribe right now and ring that bell. Every week I publish simple, honest, science-backed content about strength, nutrition, mobility, and healthy aging for people over 60. No gimmicks, no products to sell, no fitness advice designed for people half our age. Just what works, from someone who has lived it, tested it, and is still doing it every single day. I'm Susan Miller, former ICU nurse, wife, mother, grandmother, and last Tuesday I knelt down in my garden in Boulder, pulled 3 weeds, and stood up without touching the ground. It is never too late to start. I'll see you next week.